Hey, good day, everyone. I am Eric Allgood. Welcome to Prep Huddle Live here on StrivSports.com. It is hard to imagine, but we are in Week 5 of high school football as of this Thursday and Friday. The softball teams in the state will have a district bracket to look at 2 weeks from today. That's amazing. Volleyball, cross country, we are blasting right through the seasons. It is an amazing time of year, and this is a lot of fun. All of our guests on Prep Huddle Live today are joining us via the Truck Center Company's hotline. For great career opportunities, you can log on to dieseltex.com. Don't forget our social media giveaway during the show. We are giving away a Striv t-shirt to anyone that is on Twitter, takes a snapshot of them watching the show, perhaps writes me a funny message, and uses the hashtag PrepHuddleLive during the show. We'll get you set up with a free Striv t-shirt. Don't forget the hashtag is PrepHuddleLive. This week, boy, one of our biggest shows, I think, that we've had in the 2+ years we've had Prep Huddle Live. We go to Palmer first, where head coach Nathan Glause joins us for the Channel Seed Game of the Week. His Tigers are ranked number 9, and they take on number 3 High Plains in a big D1 matchup. And then the opposing quarterback in that game, Thomas Young of High Plains, will be joining us. Then we'll dive headfirst into volleyball, literally. Madison Van Housen of Hampton will be joining us on the Truck Center Company's hotline. And once we get her expertise, Berk Brown, who thinks he has a lot of expertise, will be joining us as well. So we're excited always to talk to Berk. And then Tony Chapman, our senior writer, can we call him that since he's 40 now? I think so. Will give us our Striv Stars and the Striv 5 coming up. We'll also talk a little bit more about the Channel Seed Game of the Week. Our show, though, starts in Palmer, where the Tiger football team is, like we said, ranked number 9 by the Omaha World Herald. They host number 3 High Plains in our Channel Seed Game of the Week. I'm very excited about this game in particular because it is the very first live-streamed football game from Palmer. They've had some issues. They've done lots of streaming from inside the gym and at other events, but as far as a football game, this will be the very first one that you'll be able to see, and it's a matchup of 2 ranked teams, so that makes it a lot more fun Earlier this week, we had a chance to talk with Coach Glause about his team's start to the season and the matchup with the Storm. Also coming up, stay tuned for this, High Plains senior Thomas Young is on the way. But right now, let's head to Palmer. Back here on Prep Huddle Live, and we've got Nathan Glause, the head coach of the Palmer Tigers. And, Coach, we get to do some streaming on Friday night. We're excited about that. You guys get High Plains, but a fantastic start for a group. You got the Reimers boys that are doing big things. Talk about your 4-0 start so far.
It's been a really good year for us. These guys have struggled the last couple years. We never had too many athletes in front of them, so it's been tough where they got thrown out to the wolves when they were freshmen, sophomores, and now they're kind of, with all the hard work they've done the last couple years, now they finally kind of get to reap some of these rewards. The win against Burwell in that third game, that was a big win for us. They're a tough team. I think we caught them at the right time. If we'd happen to see them later in the playoffs, they're going to be a tough team to beat.
We saw them last year in the state championship game. So obviously they've got that kind of pedigree. Mentally for the kids, how big was it to be able to say, hey, we knocked off the team that was in a championship game last fall?
It was really big for us. In fact, that week of practice, there was no problems at all. The kids were focused. They believed they could win that game ahead of time, probably more so than I did. And they proved it. They talked about we want respect, and the only way we can do that is by knocking them off.
So let's talk about some of the kids. We mentioned the Reimers boys, but quarterback, running back, tight end. We got a couple kids that we're putting in some different spots. So give us a little bit about them.
Starting at quarterback, we have Caden Reimers, and he's done a great job. This is his 3rd year of starting for us. He does a great job of running our offense and distributing the ball. He doesn't have really a favorite target. It's just whoever happens to be available at the time, he's going to.
Huddle Live, and we've got Nathan Glause, the head coach of the Palmer Tigers. And, Coach, we get to do some streaming on Friday night. We're excited about that. You guys get High Plains, but a fantastic start for a group. You got the Reimers boys that are doing big things. Talk about your 4-0 start so far.
It's been a really good year for us. These guys have struggled the last couple years. We never had too many athletes in front of them, so it's been tough where they got thrown out to the wolves when they were freshmen, sophomores, and now they're kind of, with all the hard work they've done the last couple years, now they finally kind of get to reap some of these rewards. The win against Burwell in that third game, that was a big win for us. They're a tough team. I think we caught them at the right time. If we'd happen to see them later in the playoffs, they're going to be a tough team to beat.
We saw them last year in the state championship game. game. So obviously they've got that kind of pedigree. Mentally for the kids, how big was it to be able to say, hey, we knocked off the team that was in a championship game last fall?
It was really big for us. In fact, that week of practice, there was no problems at all. The kids were focused. They believed they could win that game ahead of time, probably more so than I did. And they proved it. You know, they talked about we want respect, and the only way we can do that is by knocking them off.
So let's talk about some of the kids. We mentioned the Reimers boys, but quarterback, running back, tight end. We got a couple kids that we're putting in some different spots. So give us a little bit about them.
Starting at quarterback, we have Caden Reimers, and he's done a great job. This is his third year of starting for us. He does a great job of running our offense and distributing the ball. You know, he doesn't have really a favorite target. It's just whoever happens to be available at the time, he's going to take advantage of it. Probably his biggest strength is being able to throw that ball away at times. You know, sometimes that's the toughest pass to make, but he'll throw it away if he knows he's going to give up a sack. And he hasn't thrown, well, I guess he did throw one interception on deflection, but that really wasn't his fault. And then we have Hunter Reimers is one of our running backs along with Chad Samuelson. And they've done a good job of giving him time. They've done a great job of carrying the ball, taking care of the ball. They're also great receivers out of the backfield. Our receiving crew, we have Michael Wolf. He's kind of been our possession receiver. He's had a lot of catches already this year. And then our big receiver is Chandler Doncheski. It seems like a lot of teams will double team him, so he hasn't had a lot of catches this year, but he's always a threat out there.
And you mentioned it that they didn't have a lot in front of those guys when they were younger, but obviously the line has come together well so far.
Definitely our line with Tanner Tibbetts and Dominique Donahue as juniors. They've really grown a lot, worked hard in the weight room. We're still not a very big team, but they're definitely solid kids. We don't have Armando Rubalcaba, our senior lineman, for this game, but Spencer Wickman, he's a small lineman that stepped in. He's actually our third-string quarterback, but he's stepping in at guard, and he's done a great job the last 2 weeks for us.
Is that the beauty of eight-man football? Third-string quarterback / starting right guard. It's fun like that.
Yeah, for us, we only have 17 guys, so we have most of our guys can play about 3 or 4 positions.
Talk about the matchup now. High Plains comes in. It's a big-time type of offense. Thomas Young kind of keys a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. What kind of matchup issues or what are you expecting, I guess, for Friday night?
Well, their offense is wide open. They've been that way ever since I can recall Coach Wood being there. It's going to be tough for us because their receivers are very tall. You know, we only have a couple DBs that have somewhat their height, and our other DBs are kind of short. So it's going to be matchup problems there, and I'm sure they're going to try and take advantage of those matchups. I'm just hoping that our D-line can get a little pressure on Young, maybe make him, making an error here or there on his throws, and then we can get a chance to take advantage of that.
As we get here we are in week 5. This is the 5th game of the season already. Is this team as good as they're going to be, or do they have plenty of room to grow yet before the end of the season?
I think we'll keep improving. The Burwell game, the kids even pointed out, we watched film session, that there's a lot of mistakes that we made in that game that we can easily correct, and we feel like we could play a better ball game.
So it should be fun. We're looking forward to High Plains and Palmer Friday night for our Channel Seed game of the week. It's Nathan Glause and Merrick Allgood. More Prep Huddle Live is coming up next. Thanks again to Coach Glause for the time earlier this week. Like we said, it's an exciting time. First football game to be streamed in Palmer. And now we join to the Truck Center Company's hotline. We've got Thomas Young, the quarterback of the High Plains Storm. Thomas, first of all, thanks for joining us here today. I know we're catching you at the end of lunch, so thanks for coming on here.
Yep, no problem.
Let's talk a little bit about the offense that you guys play in. It seems to be, from an untrained eye, a lot of fun. It seems to be that there's a lot of formations and different guys getting the balls in different ways. Talk about what it's like to kind of go through practice and go through the playbook, I guess, a little bit with Coach Greg Wood.
It's a ton of fun. I mean, you have all the different formations we got. We can run multiple things off of all those formations, and we really don't lean on one guy for our offense, which is real nice. We get everybody and we spread the ball out, which is lots of fun.
It seems like for you as a quarterback of an offense like this, has got to feel a little bit like playing point guard in basketball, doesn't it? You guys kind of go, might be a pick and roll this time, and it might be a down low move next time. So does it feel a little bit at times like you're playing point guard out there?
Yeah, definitely. It was kind of funny this week. We're kind of, Coach K was making fun of my throwing motion because I finished kind of in a jump shot, unorthodox. So, yeah, it definitely feels like that. We just kind of pick and choose where we want to go and kind of probe the defense like you're probing the lane in basketball.
Last year, you guys had a great run during the regular season, and then the injury bug hit hard, especially on you, and then Josh was hurt, and it just seemed like a snowball effect with injuries. Knowing that you guys were real close to achieving some pretty big goals last year, did that motivate you in the offseason?
Definitely. Especially me getting hurt. I knew I wanted to come back and really work hard. And I know those younger guys saw us make it that far last year, and they got in. A lot of those guys got in for that Creighton game where a lot of us were out, and got them a lot of experience. And I know they were hungry to get back just as well.
And they ended up playing fairly well, considering there were still some plays made by a lot of those younger guys. Let's talk about Palmer. That's the game coming up now on Friday night. They've had a nice start to their season. I know some preseason magazines thought that they could also make a big improvement, and they have. So, what do you expect from the game Friday night?
It's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, they like to spread it out just like us and play in the open field. And they got a bunch of seniors who have played a long time and have played together for a long time, just kind of like our core we have, and it should be a lot of fun.
And as we get ready for your senior year, and you're just really starting the seasons of that you'll go through, what's the best part about playing sports? Not just football, but I know obviously you're a big basketball guy too. What is it about playing sports, and what do you think they have taught you most so far?
I guess the funnest thing is just being with the teammates every day, being with the guys, and the coaches make it a lot of fun, which is the best. And I mean, teaches you a lot, how to just everything. Keeps you on your toes.
That's right. Well, Thomas, thanks a lot for the time today. We certainly will look forward to Friday night, the Channel Seed game of the week, when you guys travel up to Palmer to take on the Tigers. Thanks a lot.
Yep, thank you.
All right, with that, we are going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, Hampton volleyball senior Madison Van Housen will join us on the Truck Center Company's hotline. This is Prep Huddle Live on StrivSports.com.
Yeah, I get it. For the little things. Technology's great. It makes things easier. It's faster. We can get things done wherever we go. And we get all that from our bank. It works for us. But for the bigger things, the things that really count, I still want to talk to the people I know and trust. That's why I'm here.
Home-cooked favorites and online ordering so you can skip the line. That's what you'll find at Dickey's Barbecue in York. Log on to Dickeys.com, select the York address, sign in, or create a profile, and you'll be ordering delicious barbecue in just seconds. Choose from a variety of meats like brisket, pulled pork, chicken breast, or sausage. Add a home-style side like waffle iron fries, fried onion tanglers, barbecue beans, and even fried okra. You won't go away hungry. Try Dickey's Barbecue today and log on to Dickeys.com. Kids eat free on Sundays.
Hey, what's going on?
Just checking the fields. Yours are looking pretty good. Must be doing something right.
Actually, I got a guy.
You got a guy?
Well, it's not just any guy. I got a Channel seedsman.
Channel, yeah?
Yeah, I've been working with him pretty close to get, well, you can see for yourself. This is what I'd recommend. Let's get to work. Now, this is what you want to see.
Maybe I should get a guy.
Maybe you should get a Channel seedsman.
Find your Channel seedsman at channel.com.
Nova Fitness Equipment of Omaha has provided the very best weight room, track and field, and sports surfacing products for over 30 years in Nebraska. They provide Cybex, Matrix Fitness, Vertimax, Tough Stuff, Pro Elite, Stairmaster, York Barbell, Troy Barbell, and UCS track and performance products. From rubber flooring, strength equipment, cardio products, and sports performance accessories, Nova Fitness Equipment has what you need to make your athletic program successful. Contact Nova Fitness Equipment today at their home office in Omaha or online at novafitnessequipment.com.
Trucking industry gives you a lot of opportunity for careers because there's such a wide, vast list of possibilities and areas that you can go into. As technicians, these trucks are as advanced as cars are today, so we need technicians that can work on them and understand how to work the computer system and get them up and running so the customer can make money. These trucks are workhorses, but they're built for comfort and they're easy to drive. Freightliner builds these trucks for drivers' wants and customers' needs.
We're going to go to Berk. David with Striv. I was setting up a phone call for Madison Van Housen today, and was wondering if you was in there ready to go. Okay. Hey Tim, this is Berk Brown with Striv. How you doing today? I'm doing great. I had a phone call that we were going to set up with Madison Van Housen to be on our Prep Huddle Live show today, and I was wondering if she was ready. We're just a little bit early.
Yeah, look.
Okay. Okay. No, we can find her. That's okay. Okay. Let's go back to her just a minute and say we're working on getting Madison, and then we'll go back to the commercial. Yep. Well, folks, the beauty of live TV, we're working on getting Madison Van Housen of Hampton on the Trek Center Company's hotline. So bear with us. We're in the process of the phone call trying to get Madison ready to go. So we will be right back with Madison Van Housen of Hampton after this. All right, we have her now on the Truck Center Company's hotline, Madison Van Housen of number 2 Hampton in Class D2. Madison, first of all, thanks for jumping out of ag class to join us today. Yeah,
thank you.
Talk a little bit about your senior class. I know Tony Chapman had done an article with you guys kind of in the preseason. It's a unique bond you guys share. Talk a little bit about your senior class in particular and playing so far this year.
My senior class, we all get along very well. We all have different personalities, but they all combine together really well, mix together really well, and that's just why we're so close. We've all been playing since we were really, really small, really little. And then when Taylor came her sophomore year, she just kind of was the key to the lock and completed everything. So it was really nice having her come in with us 5. And, I mean, just being together as a class, in school, out of school, it just helped us just where we are today.
And being at a small school, how nice is it that you guys get to hang out all the time? And the only time that you don't see each other, you guys can see each other all the time. Everyone's from the same small community.
Yeah, it's really nice being from a small community because you know everyone and everyone knows you. And that's kind of why our class is so together all the time, because we're in a small community and it just helps us bond together easily, being a small community.
Madison, you guys have had such an amazing start to your season. I got to ask, how are practices? Are they like so tough that the games just come easy, or is it kind of all running together at some point?
Well, Miss Torsten makes our practices intense, and she always tells us no game comes easy, no matter what circumstances and no matter what practices we have. No game comes easy. You have to earn it. You have to work for every game that you have, and that's just the number one priority. And practices are really intense, and Miss Torsten knows her stuff, as everyone probably knows. She's an amazing coach, and she just put our team where we are, and she's coached us, and she knows what she's doing, and makes us work hard and makes us earn it. And it's really awesome in practice, just exciting.
I know you guys have the Crossroads Conference tournament still ahead, and the conference as a whole, even on Tuesday night games, you have got to bring your A game. Knowing that, how do you and your teammates get locked in mentally before any match, really?
We do a lot of bonding on the bus. Before we leave, we warm up, and we always go together. Sometimes we have meals together, and we just sit and eat before games and just talk. Team bonding is right there, and we're so good at team bonding because we all talk together as a team, and we always look in the tunnel of the game, focus on the game, what we have to do, and that's what we do before games. We bond on the bus, we talk, and when Miss Torsten sends us out to warm up, we all warm up together, talk, all that kind of stuff. We have team talks before games. We just prep for games.
You're in your senior year. You've played a lot of volleyball over your career, and as you, at some point this year, or maybe even over the summer, you'll start to look back maybe a little bit. What do you think you will remember most fondly about this team or this year or everything that's happened so far?
The number one thing I'll probably remember is all the summer conditioning we do to get us ready for the season, and also the team that I have is amazing. The energy we have, the community we have, it just all will stick with me in life. And Miss Torsten kind of connects the life to the sport, and that's one thing that sticks with me. Is she always says, this one skill will help you in life for the rest of your life. And she just connects those things, and that's always going to stick with me forever.
Well, that is the point of the sports, I suppose. Madison Van Housen of Hampton, thank you so much for being on the Truck Center Company's hotline with us today.
Yep, thank you.
All right, with that, another short commercial break. When we come back, Berk Brown, Nebraska Prep Volleyball, is with us. This is Prep Huddle Live on StrivSports.com.
Yeah, I get it. For the little things. Technology's great. It makes things easier. It's faster. We can get things done wherever we go. And we get all that from our bank. It works for us. But for the bigger things, the things that really count, I still want to talk to the people I know and trust. That's why I'm here.
Home-cooked favorites and online ordering so you can skip the line. That's what you'll find at Dickey's Barbecue in York. Log on to Dickeys.com, select the York address, sign in, or create a profile, and you'll be ordering delicious barbecue in just seconds. Choose from a variety of meats like brisket, pulled pork, chicken breast, or sausage. Add a home-style side like waffle iron fries, fried onion tanglers, barbecue beans, and even fried okra. You won't go away hungry. Try Dickey's Barbecue today and log on to Dickeys.com. Kids eat free on Sundays.
Hey, what's going on?
Just checking the fields. Yours are looking pretty good. Must be doing something right.
Actually, I got a guy.
You got a guy.
Well, it's not just any guy. I got a channel seedsman.
Channel, yeah?
Yeah, I've been working with him pretty close to get, well, you can see for yourself. This is what I'd recommend. Let's get to work. Now, this is what you want to see.
Maybe I should get a guide.
Maybe you should get a channel seedsman.
Find your channel seedsman at channel.com.
Nova Fitness Equipment of Omaha has provided the very best weight room, track and field, and sports surfacing products for over 30 years in Nebraska. They provide Cybex, Matrix Fitness, Vertimax, Tough Stuff, Pro Elite, Stairmaster, York Barbell, Troy Barbell, and UCS track and performance products. From rubber flooring, strength equipment, cardio products, and sports performance accessories, Nova Fitness Equipment has what you need to make your athletic program successful. Contact Nova Fitness Equipment today at their home office in Omaha or online at novafitnessequipment.com.
Trucking industry gives you a lot of opportunity for careers because there's such a wide, vast list of possibilities and areas that you can go into. As technicians, these trucks are as advanced as cars are today, so we need technicians that can work on them and understand how to work a computer system and get them up and running so the customer can make money. These trucks are workhorses, but they're built for comfort and they're easy to drive. Freightliner builds these trucks for drivers' wants and customers' needs.
Welcome back to Prep Huddle Live here on StrivSports.com. We got Berk Brown of Nebraska Prep Volleyball on the Truck Center Company's hotline. And Berk, we always like to have some fun when we do the volleyball chats every week. We just had Hampton senior Madison Van Housen on, and Madison is a very big part of a very well-oiled machine for Hampton. And before we got going here, I wanted to say that. Thank you, first of all, for all of the witty banter on Twitter. Those conversations get fun sometimes.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you calling me witty. That's very kind. Especially, I think it's. I mean, I guess we probably have film on this, but I think at the start of the show, you mentioned that I pretend like I have expertise.
Yeah.
Or something to that effect. So not that I'm stalking or creeping or watching to see what you're saying about me at all times. But, I think we have some fun here. I think it's okay.
Okay. Well, I wanted to go back to Hampton first to kind of get things started here today. Hampton is number 2 by the Omaha World Herald, only behind O'Neill St. Mary's. And the stat I wanted to give you without giving you the heads up is this, okay. And it's 18.7. That is the average number of points Hampton is scoring in a set by either a kill, an ace, or a block. You add up their 3 averages per set, you get 18.7. So you don't even have that many opportunities to make a mistake. They are just scoring points on everyone. And I want to get your thoughts. If you make 6 errors in a set, you get beat by Hampton, is the way it's gone so far this year.
Yeah, and they basically are rolling everybody, right? I mean, I don't believe have dropped a set, and a lot of it is exactly what you said. They do not allow you a chance to breathe. They have their foot on your neck from the time the match starts till the time that it ends. And I won't say which coach, but I mean, there was a team that they played earlier this year, and after the match, he sent me a message that just said, my goodness, I mean, what are you supposed to do with that team? They are relentless in the way that they attack you, and they put 6 good players on the court at all times. And in Class D2, if there's not a weak spot on the court, there's nowhere for teams to attack, and basically Hampton just keeps that pressure on you until you crack. I mean, it's what Diane Torsen has done is incredible with them. And with all due respect to my good friend Mike Patterson, I do not agree with him that the Kansas City Royals are better than the Minnesota Twins, nor that the Chicago Bears are better than the Minnesota Vikings. But definitely in this case, Hampton is hands down the best team in Class D2. With all due respect to O'Neill, St. Mary's, and Mike, Hampton is the team to beat there. They should be the number one team.
How do you think they stack up with schools, not just even obviously the other D2 schools, but D1? Could you pick up Hampton and drop them into C1 or C2 or even B? How do you think they'd fare?
Yeah, I always love to kind of play that game, and was actually just thinking that the other night. Like a Hampton Johnson Brock game would just be incredible. And Johnson Brock is, at least in my book, the top team in D1. And I think between the two, between Hampton and Johnson Brock, Class C1 gets a little bit dicey because Class C1 is legitimately, I think, the deepest class there is, and they go a good, solid 10, 12, 14 teams deep there. But look, I'll be the first to tell you, if Hampton or Johnson Brock even, and I'll just throw Johnson Brock in there because I think those two teams are both fabulous. If Hampton and Johnson Brock each played the 28 Class A schools, without a doubt, I believe they win at least 13 or 14 of those matches. I think they could go 500 against a Class A schedule playing all 28 teams. And I think that they could have similar success in Class B. There would be teams, obviously, that they would not match up well with simply because of a lack of height. But look, these kids can play ball. I mean, they're phenomenal. They're great athletes. And you put Hampton up against, some Class A schools, and it would be a heck of a match.
Consider eyebrows raised, I guess, over here. So that's fun. Another team that we have amongst the Striv School Network is St. Paul, and they've been right at the top of C1 now for a week or so. And they had a big weekend when they headed out to Gothenburg. They did, and St. Paul is a team. Boy, Eric, we've been talking about this since last year, really. Is a team that always seemed to get the bad breaks at the end of the year that prevented them from being at state. And right now, they're sitting at 14-0. They just had a nice win last night over Adams Central, and they were impressive in Gothenburg. I mean, they have yet to drop a set. Them, like Hampton, just rolling people right now. They swept Chadron, which Chadron knocked off Kearney Catholic in the same tournament. So for St. Paul to go out and sweep Chadron is a heck of an accomplishment. They did it against Ogallala, and you're not going to find many teams more talented or well coached than Steve Morgan's team in Ogallala. They swept Minden. St. Paul, I think I made the comment somewhere along the lines, but sometimes there's players that just play angry. Right, LeBron James in the NBA Finals played angry. St. Paul is a team that just strikes me as a team that plays angry. Like they got that chip and that edge about them from kind of getting the raw deal last year, not making it to state, and you can just tell that they're not going to take any chances. And they could face Kearney Catholic a couple times yet this year, and those could be some great matches. But give Matt Cohen Fairbanks a lot of credit. I believe this is maybe first time in program history St. Paul's been in this position, but you're not going to find a team more disciplined, well coached, well rounded than St. Paul right now. How about some of the other players and teams that you've seen over the last few weeks that have maybe raised your eyebrows or that you think are really kind of rounding into form as the season? It's going to go quick here. I can't believe I just typed this morning that we are on September 21st already. We are, and I love to watch Prep Huddle live, and man, my picture just popped up on the screen. That is a good-looking guy. Yeah, it is. And the reason I think of that is Tony Chapman is 40, and he's just a young guy. Yeah. He looks a lot older than that. I don't know. So Tony's next on the show, of course, so he gets the final rebuttal. He is the caboose of Prep Huddle Live. There's some great players in this state. And Fallon Studheit
down at Johnson Brock right now. She's just a sophomore. She obviously helped lead them to a state championship last year as a freshman. She's actually leading the state in kills right now at 197. And just a phenomenal kid, great player, and she's putting up some great numbers. She's averaging 5.6 kills per set. And I tell you what, another kid who's having a tremendous year and leading her team to a great year and kind of having an all-state kind of year is down in Donovan Trumbull, and that's McKenna Niemoff. She's right with Fallon. She's averaging 5.6 kills a set. She's played a couple of sets less, so her total's 185. But she is having a whale of a season. And then I think a couple of young kids people should really keep their eye out for. We tweeted about this a little bit last night, but Mariah Buss is a 6'1" freshman down in Beatrice. This should put into perspective how good she is. And she's got a little bit of Team USA youth development training with her. Going to be a very, very special player. She broke Beatrice's record for most kills in a match last night, and she did it in a best of 3. She needed only 3 sets, and I believe the total was 26 kills. She broke a school record playing in 3 sets that everybody for the last 20, 30 years has had plenty of 5-set match opportunities to, tally. So that's going to be a very special player. And I think out in Minden, keep your eye on Jensen Rouse. She's got over 100 kills already, a freshman out there. I compare her kind of like a clone to Maddie Juergens in a way. She's just a very heady kid, daughter of a coach, could be a great setter, great hitter. She's going to be a great all-around player. So those are just a handful of kids that, I think are off to great starts this year. Man, I'm excited for, as we kind of continue on through the heart of the season here to see who steps up and who continues to play big.
Well, I can't wait to see and hear some more. We're looking forward to it. That is Berk Brown with Nebraska Prep Volleyball. Hot takes also on the website, Berk. There's been some fun stuff to kind of talk about in a variety of different ways, and of course the Twitterverse is always enjoyable on both ends.
Well, I also appreciate your witty banter back and forth, and so it's a lot of fun. I love the Nebraska high school sports community. It's a great community, both online and in person. And hey, if you're not out there having fun, if you're not enjoying the games and enjoying what you do, what's the point? So we're going to keep on having fun.
I'm with you there, brother. We'll talk to you again next week. Thanks, Berk.
All right, take care. Hopefully Tony makes it next week.
Yeah.
Those AARP discounts will come in handy, though.
Especially at Dairy Queen when we go for those 89-cent snow cones or something, right?
All right, take care.
All right, thanks. Hey, we want to remind everyone to, of course, follow us on all of our social media channels, Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat. Yes, you can follow us on Snapchat. There it is. You can actually take a screenshot of this right now and go into your Snapchat and add a friend by snap code. There it pops up right there. So you can join us that way. You get a sneak peek into some of the travels and the schools that we go to. Set up for Prep Huddle Live sometimes is on there. Set up for the Game of the Week is on there. And lots of fun stuff on our Snapchat. So if you need to search for it, it's just Striv TV is what you're looking for. You can also subscribe to The Dish. The Dish is you get that day's streaming schedule as well as all of our content on strivsports.com, and you get it straight into your email inbox. You can subscribe to The Dish by clicking on The Dish in strivsports.com. When we come back after a short break, the birthday boy from a couple weeks ago, but apparently Berk wants to keep bringing up the past, is next. Tony Chapman will join us on the Trek Center Company's hotline.
Yeah, I get it. For the little things. Technology's great. It makes things easier. It's faster. We can get things done wherever we go. And we get all that from our bank. It works for us. But for the bigger things, the things that really count, I still want to talk to the people I know and trust. That's why I'm here.
Home-cooked favorites and online ordering so you can skip the line. That's what you'll find at Dickey's Barbecue in York. Log on to dickeys.com, select the York address, sign in, or create a profile, and you'll be ordering delicious barbecue in just seconds. Choose from a variety of meats like brisket, pulled pork, chicken breast, or sausage. Add a home-style side like waffle iron fries, fried onion tanglers, barbecue beans, and even fried okra. You won't go away hungry. Try Dickey's Barbecue today and log on to dickeys.com. Kids eat free on Sundays.
Hey, what's going on?
Just checking the fields. Yours are looking pretty good. Must be doing something right.
Actually, I got a guy.
You got a guy?
Well, it's not just any guy. I got a channel seedsman.
Channel, yeah?
Yeah, I've been working with him pretty close to get, well, you can see for yourself. This is what I'd recommend. Let's get to work. Now, this is what you want to see.
Maybe I should get a guy.
Maybe you should get a channel seedsman.
Find your channel seedsman at channel.com.
Nova Fitness Equipment of Omaha has provided the very best weight room, track and field, and sports surfacing products for over 30 years in Nebraska. They provide Cybex, Matrix Fitness, Vertimax, Tough Stuff, Pro Elite, Stairmaster, York Barbell, Troy Barbell, and UCS track and performance products. From rubber flooring, strength equipment, cardio products, and sports performance accessories, Nova Fitness Equipment has what you need to make your athletic program successful. Contact Nova Fitness Equipment today at their home office in Omaha or online at novafitnessequipment.com.
Trucking industry gives you a lot of opportunity for careers because there's such a wide, vast list of possibilities and areas that you can go into. As technicians, these trucks are as advanced as cars are today, so we need technicians that can work on them and understand how to work a computer system and get them up and running so the customer can make money. These trucks are workhorses, but they're built for comfort and they're easy to drive. Freightliner builds these trucks for drivers' wants and customers' needs.
Welcome back to Prep Huddle Live here on StrivSports.com. Tony Chapman now is on the Truck Center Company's hotline. And, Tony, we always get to this part of the show, and we kind of go, well, what else are we going to talk about? Oh, yeah, some of the best performances from the last week or so. So who are the stars shining bright in the Striv universe?
All right. Well, good to be on here, Eric. Hopefully I don't make fun of myself. Senior writer, I can barely hear you. My hearing aid is not quite working properly. Anyway, let's start in softball, Mr. Allgood. Logan Black from Millard West is my star this week. The Wildcats got second at the Monarch Invitational last weekend, hosted by Papillion La Vista. Black threw a no-hitter in a 1-0 win in the semifinals against Millard North that avenged the loss in the Metro Conference final to the Mustangs. And then in reaching the final in their first two games, she had a combined 16 strikeouts and 4 RBIs at the plate. They got to the finals beating Lincoln Southeast and Omaha Central. The loss in the finals was a 2-1 game to Papillion La Vista, who has given Millard West 3 of their 4 losses so far this season. Volleyball, sir. Let's go to Howells Dodge. The Jaguars are third in Class C2. I don't think Berk talked about the Jaguars, but
he did not.
Maybe I missed it. Last night they had a big one, a 5-set win over Class D1 number 5 Lutheran High Northeast. They got a 15-12 win in the 5th set. Callie and Sam Brester, I believe they're cousins. We watched them play basketball last March, but last night they had 35 kills, and in their 2 combined, and then their 2 wins last week against Logan View and Wakefield, both of those 3-0 sweeps, they combined for 52 kills. So nice little combination working there for the Jaguars. And then a late one that I'm doing just as we speak off of my computer. I noticed last night Potter Dix went to Paxton and got 2 wins over Wallace, who was undefeated in number 3, and also over Paxton, who's been a kind of a small school class Western Nebraska power here for a while. So a nice job for Potter Dix last night. Looked like last night they were led by Trinity Langley in that 2-game sweep over Wallace, which gave the Wildcats their first loss of the season. Trinity had 9 kills and Audrey Jules had 7. I'm looking at their roster, 3 juniors, 3 seniors. It looks like they're playing. So Potter Dix and Wallace and Paxton may be able to make a little noise maybe at the state tournament this year. A couple of those teams have been ranked so far. Switch over to football. So many that we could talk about. So I picked 3, and if you want to talk about more, we can talk about more. Jordan Flowers, Omaha Central, quarterback, 12 for 16. He had 218 yards passing. He scored the game-winning touchdown with about 20 seconds left. Omaha Central got to 2-2, beating North Platte 31-28. In Creighton, they had an afternoon game last Friday against Atkinson Westholt, who was an 11-man playoff qualifier last year. They got on the Huskies pretty good, a 56-14 win for Creighton. Bryce Zimmerer had 41 carries for 227 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then quarterback Ryan Newman. I think you saw those guys last year, Eric, against High Plains. He was 12 for 15 passing for 186 yards for Coach Gene Seward. And then also to Fullerton, the Warriors are kind of quietly undefeated. Next week they've got a big one against Osceola, but Coach Houghton has Hunter Friend, who's close to 700 yards already on the season. Last week they beat Wausau 60-16. Hunter had 205 yards on 30 carries and scored 3 touchdowns. But Hunter was one of those, I think he was a freshman or maybe even a sophomore on that first Fullerton team that we kind of covered a couple of years ago when they made it all the way to the quarterfinals. Were undefeated up until that point. He was one of the few young kids that played on that team. So good to see Hunter doing good things for Coach Ryan Houghton, who's really one of the good ones in 8-man football. He's a great coach, does great things up there in Fullerton. So your Striv standouts, Eric.
I got one more because we got to add the hometown kid, one of the fastest ways you can get to 1,000 yards rushing. I know we kind of featured him a little bit social media-wise last week, but we would be amiss if we didn't mention Austin Stewart of Heartland. 1,000 yards, 1,089 yards in 3 games so far for the Huskies. Just remarkable. He had, was he over 400 yards, I think, on Friday night? Was that right?
Yeah, I believe the 445 yards on 35 carries. And last I checked, or I had heard, Austin is leading the nation in 8-man rushing. I'll double check that. I've got the list up here right now. Let's see if I can reset that 8-man stat leaders. Yeah, I don't have it. I don't even know if this is correct. No, that's passing stats. I'll see if I can get that for you while we're talking here, Eric.
Okay, yeah, but in any event, Austin is having a remarkable year for the 2-1 Huskies, and they've got some manageable games that coming up. That you get a guy like Austin. We could be, very early. Like I said, he's only played 3 games so far, and he got a bye week already under his belt. But by the end of the year, we could be talking about some astronomical numbers. So we'll see what happens from there. But
I have confirmed, Eric, I apologize to interrupt you. I have confirmed leading the nation in 8-man football, rushing yards, 1,083 yards. Second place, Manuel Espinoza from California has run for 1,052, but in 4 games. So his per-game average leads the nation by like almost 70 yards per game.
Wow. So that's kind of cool. And, he's – the school's like 2 blocks away from us here at Hashtag, so that's fun. How about we go on to the Striv 5, the 5 games you want to watch on your local Striv channel, which of course is local to everywhere else in the world. What are some of the big matchups we're keeping an eye on this Friday night?
Yeah, well, I guess number 1, we'll start off right there in York County. The Dukes have a big one against McCook, 2 playoff teams, perennial playoff teams, I guess you could say. This will be, kind of York's first big test since we saw them week 1 against Elkhorn South. McCook so far undefeated. They got that first game win against Aurora, but really haven't been tested since then. So I think Coach Gross and Coach Snodgrass both are probably ready for this one. Since week 1, it's been 3 pretty easy wins for both teams. So this one should be good. Great atmosphere, I'm sure, at York on Friday night. That should be a fun one.
And then you want to move on to
should I just keep going?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you wanted to talk between each one.
No, go for it.
I think then we move down into C2 where you have Fillmore Central, who's 3-1. They're coming off of a loss last week to Freeman, their first loss of the year. Now it doesn't get any easier because they'll play Centennial, who I think is maybe kind of the surprise of C2 so far here early in the season. Coach Evan Klinecki has done a great job. They kind of run a spread offense, which is featured by their sophomore quarterback. I believe Evan Waters is his name, and Centennial is ranked sixth in Class C2, and again, I think another big step for Centennial to get this one under their belt. I was trying to pull up. Let me see some stats there. Wyatt Ehlers, I apologize, 675 yards passing in 4 games on only 47 completions. So it's kind of a big play, kind of spread offense. And again, they've got early wins, Eric, over UTAN in Central City, which kind of got them into the rankings. And they sit kind of right there below that kind of top 4 core that we've kind of identified as Wilbur and Battle Creek and Sutton and Oakland Craig, I think. So Centennial off to some nice things, and setting up kind of a week 9 slobber knocker maybe before the playoffs. They'll play Sutton, so that should be a good one there. Scroll down to the 8-man ranks. I think another good one will be out in Hemingford. Perkins County, number 2 in the state, will travel to Hemingford. It's been good here for a couple of years. They just have the opening loss to South Loop, which basically happened kind of like on the last 10, 15 seconds of the game. And so I think you've got Perkins County team who came down from 11-man last year, played really well in the regular season, got upset in the playoffs, but this was kind of their coming out party last year. They upset Hemingford, and they've kind of been on everybody's 8-man radar ever since. Derek Siss, the tailback, leads Perkins County, and a long lineage of great football and basketball teams out there in Grant. Another Class D1 game that I think is really a swing game that I'll be curious to see how it comes out is Clarkson Lee and East Butler. This is a game that both teams really want to win to kind of set themselves up for hopefully a decent playoff run. And so I think this could be a good one. As far as playoff implications go. East Butler, 2 close losses, but 1-2 on the season, and then Clarkson Lee is 2-1, so one that could go either way. And then the last one, kind of wanted to highlight in 6-man. 2 ranked teams. Harvard, they got their first stream last week. They'll get another big one this week. They'll host Deschler, who's undefeated and 3-0. Harvard is 2-1. Their only loss opening week there to St. Edward, who is number 2 in the 6-man class, but they're coming off of a nice win over previously ranked Wilcox Hildreth, a 30-27 win for Harvard. So this should be a good one in Harvard in the 6-man ranks. And Coach Carson Clutie has Deschler 3-0, I think, for the first time since 2010, I believe.
Yeah, we got some good ones, and those are just 5. I think we are, again, over 20 games that you can see Friday night on the Striv Network. And, of course, that brings us to the game that you'll see that we are going to head to, and that is to Palmer for the first ever streamed football game for the Tigers. They are ranked number 9. They host High Plains, who is ranked number 3 in our Channel Seed game of the week.
Yeah, boy, I think this one's going to be really exciting, Eric. I just think that Palmer's playing with a lot of confidence. Your interview with Coach Glause was really good. They kind of got beat up the last 2 years. They made the playoffs last year as, I believe, a 4-4 team. But Caden Reimers, 53 for 92 on the season, 715 yards passing already. And then his cousin Hunter kind of carries the load rushing, 58 carries, 344 yards, and then Hunter adds about 200 yards so far in 4 games. But they've got it done kind of they kind of run that spread attack, and High Plains is kind of the same way. But that win over Burwell, I tell you what, that really opens some people's eyes, and I think it makes this one set up to be really good. High Plains is a team that, man, has really played well so far. You look at their wins even. We talked about Austin Storr. They held him, if you will, to about 260 yards in the opener. That was a 52-28 win over Heartland. They got a win last week over Tri-County, who came down from C2. A lot of people thought that Tri-County would be a solid playoff team. But, man, they get it done with a lot of different guys. Thomas Young has got close to 500 yards passing in 3 games. He's got over 300 yards rushing, so he's just shy of 800 yards of total offense. They're playing they're playing Keaton Van Housen. I think that's Kyler's brother. The Van Housen name, along with the running back in Van Housen at High Plains and Polk Cordoville previously, has been pretty much a given. So Keaton now, he's second on the team in rushing as a freshman at 160 yards so far. And then it's Kyle Stevens, who is Thomas Young's favorite target, 226 yards receiving, 11 catches in 3 games and 3 touchdowns. So I expect there to be a lot of offense. I think we can see both teams get into the 40s. I think a 40, mid-40s to mid-30s kind of game. And I see it being, 1-2 possession game. I think it's going to be a really good one in Palmer. It should be fun.
Yeah, and like we said, the first game ever to be first football game, I should say, to be streamed there at Palmer. And, it was funny, I had emailed Coach Greg Wood at High Plains earlier this week to see if at some point he could get me the starters for the game for Friday night. We put a graphic together and whatnot. And he said, sure, no problem, sends it back to me. And I'm looking at the offensive starters, and he's got a center and a right guard and a left guard like you'd expect. And he's got a quarterback listed, Thomas Young, of course. And then the rest of the backs, if you will, are not listed as running back and fullback and tight end and wing back or even something like that. No, the backs are listed as 1, 2, 3, 4. It literally sets up just like basketball. And if you caught us with Thomas earlier today, that offense at times it feels like basketball. He kind of runs the point, and we want to try to attack this side this time, and we want to try to attack here, and he feels like the point guard. So I think it'll be fun to watch. Tony, also coming up this week on Striv Sports, On the Sideline. Who we got?
On the sideline, we will travel to St. Paul. Berk briefly discussed that, but I'll be talking later today to Coach Matt Kane Fairbanks, and it's interesting, the backstory on St. Paul last year. As living over here in Grand Island, I was an announcer for their district final game against Kearney Catholic last year, and the hurt on those girls' faces when they lost that game, and then they knew that Grand Island Central Catholic was going to pass them in the wild card points, and they weren't going to get the state. There was a lot of pain there, and you can see that hard work and togetherness has paid off quickly. Man, they have performed very, very well so far this year, and now, of course, the number 1 team in Class C1. So we'll kind of chronicle their offseason and their story a little bit for On the Sideline.
Looking forward to that. You can find that on strivsports.com coming up tomorrow. Tony, thanks a lot. We'll see you Friday night at the Game of the Week.
Sounds good.
All right, as always, a big thank you to Cornerstone Bank, to Truck Center Companies, to Channel C, to Dickey's Barbecue, and to Nova Fitness Equipment for being our broadcast partnerships for Prep Huddle Live. We reached almost exactly an hour, Austin. Big show today. Thanks to everyone who might have tuned in. Lots of clips coming up on Facebook, on our Striv Sports Facebook page, so check those out as well. For this week, I am Eric Allgood saying thanks for watching us. We'll get you Friday night for our Channel Seed Game of the Week when High Plains travels to Palmer. We'll see you at the home of the Tigers.